What's up guys, I'm Bran Crow, welcome back to the channel. Today is Tuesday, which means it is time for another inspiration session. Today's episode is a bit of a deep dive and is about the person who got me back into magic after a long hiatus. Like a lot of people, I would say without this person there would probably be no Bran Crow. So without any further ado, today I'm going to be talking about the one and only YouTube sensation, Mr. Chris Ramsay. Let's go. So I've had an interest in magic for as long as I can remember. About 7 or 8 years old, I got the standard magic VHS cassette that taught you all the real basics of kids' magic tricks. This set was so basic that now I think about it, I'm not even sure if it came with any props or gimmicks. It may have just been the VHS itself. And then as I grew up through school, I taught myself some really basic magic tricks that you got like in the back of kids' books at Christmas. Things to do with elastic bands jumping between two fingers. And then from there we had some really basic gimmick decks that I bought in the joke shops. Things like your strippers and your Svengalis that weren't very well made, but did the job for like an 11-year-old. And as standard, as I got a little bit older, I thought that magic wasn't cool anymore. There was this thing of the guy with the top hat, the white gloves and the rabbit, and that was no longer something that I wanted to be associated with. Skip forward to 2015, and that is when I lost my dad. And at that time I became very depressed and stopped doing all of the things that I enjoyed. I spent a lot of time just flicking through TV channels and skipping through videos on YouTube, most of which I had no interest in. And then suddenly I stumbled across a channel. I have no idea how I found this. I can be sure that I wasn't searching for magic tricks or tutorials, but I found Chris Ramsay. Now I know there are so many people out there who say that without finding Chris on YouTube, they would never have even started magic. And I have to say that if I hadn't stumbled across his channel that day, the chances are I probably would never have got back into it either. I always thought that the magician was this nerdy, geeky character, often portrayed in comics and in movies as the nerd, the loser who no one's really interested in and tries to learn magic to make themselves more interesting. And then suddenly, on my TV, I'm like, who is this guy? He looks kind of like me. He's got the beard, he's got the snapback, he's got the tattoos. Maybe you don't have to be a complete nerd to want to do magic. So I continued to watch. And because of this, I became obsessed with magic again. I spent all of my time watching Chris's tutorials. I bought myself decks of cards and started to try and learn the basics. In fact, I'm pretty sure the first 2 magic effects that I ever bought were from Chris Ramsay. And that's Red Pill and Voodoo. And they're things that are stuck in my repertoire. I definitely have changed my presentation on them now to make them very much more mentalism based. But that is now something that I've kept with me since the beginning. Like many people, I was really disappointed when Chris decided to stop doing magic tutorials on YouTube. And I remember when he put the video out explaining why, I was so disheartened and thought, I'm not going to find another teacher like him. And I think a lot of people were really, really unhappy on that day. But I wasn't unhappy with him. I was unhappy with the community for making him feel that way, making him feel like he couldn't teach anymore. But through Ramsay, I did find a lot of other inspirations. One of the biggest of which was Spidey, who I will be talking about in a future episode, so keep your eyes open. Although Chris stopped doing magic tutorials on YouTube, his YouTube channel has carried on and he has some great videos, mainly about puzzles these days, as well as his blogging side of things, and he's even had his own TV show, which is great. He started with his YouTube channel and has just hosted his own TV show along with Eric Leclerc, Wes Barker and Alex Boyer over on True TV. Big Trick Energy. Now, I haven't seen much of it because it's not available on TV over here that I can find, but I have managed to get some clips on YouTube, and from what I have seen, it is awesome and I can't wait to be able to get to watch it in full. I know I said this at the beginning of the video, but if there was no Chris Ramsay, there would definitely be no Bran Crow. And I will always remember learning the very basics from Chris, and there's routines that I've still kept today that I learned in my first few months of learning magic. If you haven't already, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell, because this is the end of today's inspiration session. Those of you who are regular to the channel will know that the Taboos in Magic Series 1 has just finished. So on Friday there will be something a little different. I've decided I'm not going to tell you what that is. You're going to have to come back on Friday to find out. So that's the end of today's video. My name is Brian Crow. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I will see you again soon.